Don't be terrified. Don't be cocky. But above all, don't be unprepared. Your first sponsorship negotiation can be tricky, but if you have the right mindset going into it, the brand will walk away thinking that partnering with you was the best decision they ever made. Let me explain. First, there's nothing worse than failing to do research on a brand prior to the negotiation. What other creators have they worked with? What campaigns did they run in the past? What campaigns are they running right now? What is the business climate for them right now? Are they having supply chain issues? Is their stock price way up, or is it trying to fight off a competitor? What social media platforms are they active on right now? Are they posting on social media? How big is their marketing team? How much more powerful of a position do you think you'll be in if you have the answers to all those questions before you hop on a call or a Zoom with the brand? Not only will you seem extremely professional, but you instantly differentiate yourself from any other creator they've ever dealt with. Clearly, you're not just looking for a one and done transaction. You are someone that they could envision playing a key role in their marketing strategy. So the next time a brand wants to chat, do yourself a favor and educate yourself on what's going on in their world first. Number 2, when a brand asks you to send over your standard pricing or rate card, don't do it.
What do you mean, don't do it, Justin?
I mean, don't do it. Starting right now, you do not have standard pricing because every single deal that you will ever do will be different. The brand will have different goals. The deal will have different terms. The statement of work will be different. There are so many factors that should affect your pricing that it makes absolutely no sense to provide anything to the brand until you can ascertain those details. Of course, you can have standard pricing that you keep to yourself and use internally to construct your proposals to brands, but how much you charge for each individual thing is none of their business. Another downside to having standard pricing is that brands will then have a tendency to try to get everything a la carte. I'm sorry, but this is a prix fixe restaurant. You can't pick apart all the different things that I'm offering you in these partnership packages. I'm happy to put together some options with a different combination of pose, but I'm not going to give you individualized pricing because my value proposition as a creator is not something that can be standardized or commoditized. So what I'm humbly asking you, dear creator, is that if you have pricing in your media kit, please, please, please delete that page right now. Number 3 is be objective. One of the most common things I hear from creators is that they get mad when they deal with brands. It even sometimes sours their whole experience of doing sponsorships because of these bad apples. But it's really critical to understand that this is just business. The brand is paying you for a service, and there are certain expectations that they're going to have that are honestly reasonable. Yes, of course there are brands that can be rude and give you insulting offers, but have you ever considered that maybe they don't know what's reasonable? Maybe they haven't worked with a ton of creators. Maybe they're feeling things out. Maybe it's actually you who's going to educate them on what proper compensation would be for the scope of work and terms they're asking for. Because remember, the negotiation is just the start of the partnership. So if you're extremely emotional and things are contentious at the very start, that doesn't bode very well for the overall collaboration. So take a deep breath and check your ego at the door. Number 4, don't let brands back you into a corner. Sometimes when you're on a call or a Zoom with a brand, they will point blank ask you, how much do you charge? The worst thing that you can possibly do is blurt out a number. Hopefully the call was all about information gathering, right? Remember all those questions we were asking ourselves when we were doing research? All the stuff that we couldn't figure out from Googling? Well, you need to be asking the brand. It's only after you've learned all of that context that you can possibly provide accurate pricing, which can't be done on the fly. This is going to be something that requires deep thought. So instead of saying, well, usually, I charge $1,000 to $3,000 for projects like this, you say, all of this information was super helpful. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to think about everything that we discussed and get back to you. What are they going to say? No, you need to give us a number right now? No, they're going to say, okay, sounds good. That will give you the space, time, and clarity to put together a thorough and professional proposal. Number 5, don't be afraid to walk away. If a brand seems really interested in working with you, but something just feels off about what they're asking for, whether it's the language in the contract, what they want you to say in the content, how much they're paying you, I don't care how far down the road into the conversation you are, you can always back out. Remember, this is your platform, and you can always politely tell the brand that upon further consideration, I don't think this is going to be a great fit. Do you really want to feel nauseated and annoyed the whole partnership, but you were too chicken to back out? I know that might sound silly, but creators do this all the time, and then they convince themselves that working with brands is just not worth it because it's too much of a hassle. Well, that's because they're doing sponsorships that they had no business doing in the first place. So always remember, at the end of the day, no matter what any brand says, you can always walk away from a deal during the negotiation if it doesn't feel right. Number 6, be confident. Remember, if you've gotten to the point where a brand is negotiating with you, that means they want you. There is something about your content, there's something about your personality, there's something about being associated with your online presence that the brand is excited about. You know how they say that one of the sexiest things when you're dating someone is their confidence? Well, it's the same way with sponsorship negotiations. Confident creators are more attractive. They seem like they know what they're doing. The brand feels like they're in good hands if they were to partner with you. Creators who are waffling, they're not decisive, they're afraid to, stand up for themselves or offer feedback about how a campaign could be improved, that just feels kind of lame. And look, I'll be the first one to admit that if you don't have a ton of experience working with brands, it's hard to find that confidence because you're afraid that you're gonna screw everything up. And you know what? That's okay. Everyone makes mistakes, but what separates good negotiators from bad negotiators is their willingness to learn and improve. And number 7, speaking of learning and improving, you need to invest in your knowledge. So many creators have told me that they're just not good negotiators and they never will be, which is absolute BS. Negotiation is something that everyone can learn and get better at, which is exactly why I created my course, Brand Deal Wizard. It's a 4-week-long program that I teach live over Zoom to help you find and negotiate your dream sponsorship so that you stop leaving thousands on the table. So if you're a creator that feels like you don't know your true worth and you're having a hard time setting your pricing and you understand the value of educating yourself on things that can directly lead to you making a lot more money, check the link in the description or go to branddealwizard.com. So look, we're not done. Watch this video where I talk about 5 sponsorship pricing mistakes that I see creators making over and over. Believe me, there are simple tweaks that you can make that will have an absolutely profound impact on how much money you can charge. So what are you waiting for? Click the video. Click it.